Hi everyone. Okay, so I'm coming on to do a card tutorial. Now, I was really inspired. I watched Laura, Mrs. Station and stuff, make a, what was it? A shadow card box. No, a shadow box card. Shadow box card. Now, I will link Laura's tutorial down below. Now, I've been watching different tunnel cards and shadow boxes and all different tutorials on YouTube to get some inspiration as well, but obviously I love Laura's channel, and I used her tutorial to make this one. Now, this is a Pride and Prejudice tunnel card or shadow box. So I was making these and I thought, right, you know, I bought the Downton Abbey range and I wanted to use this die, and I thought, how am I going to use it? So I was making the shadow box and then it came to me. This is how it cuts out. Okay, now it actually cuts into the card. I just went round with a trimmer and cut this out, so I wanted to incorporate it. So what I done was make this. So it's basically, I followed Laura's tutorial to make this one, and then I rearranged the sizes and things like that to incorporate this create a card. So instead of having the two parts that you look through, you've got like the tunnel card instead, and, or I call it a tunnel card, but I know a lot of people call them shadow boxes and frame boxes and all sorts of things on all different videos, but for this video I'm going to call them tunnel cards. So this is what I decided to make. So a huge thank you to Laura for the inspiration, and for everybody else. I'm not going to list everybody else, guys, there's too many that I watched, but I will, as I say, link Laura's, so please go down and check out Laura's tutorial if you would like to see how to make these. The only difference is Laura done hers with a heart and they're absolutely beautiful, so go over and check that out if you haven't done so already, of course. So to make this one, now this is the one that I'm going to, no it's not actually, that's the one that I made first, and that is with the Downton Abbey Downton Decker die, so I made that. Then I made this one. Now I haven't decorated this one on the front or anything yet. I used the Neroli pad from Trimcraft and this Crafter's Companion Create a Card. This is the Grand Chandelier die. Sorry about that, my son was shouting on me. So what I want to show you is how to use any of your Create a Card dies or your large dies that cut into the paper in one of these tunnel cards or shadow box cards. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So what you need is 3 pieces of card. Now for this I was going to do one of these square ones again, but I want to show you how you can, you know, use the dies that you've got and adjust your measurements. So first of all, what I need to do is get this die out the packet. So I'm just going to slice it open. Okay. Let's just get this out of the sticky tape. I can see where the sticky tape is. Okay, let's take this wee bit of sticky off the back. That comes off easy, it's just a wee thin strip of double-sided. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, she says, is find my ruler. Got it. Now I want to measure this die. So it's about 4 2/8. 4 2/8 by 5 3/4. So we know that we want the bottom one. We know that we want our card vertically to be 5 3/4. So we just need to work out now if it's 4 and 2/8 this way, and I want to add on a 1/2 inch each side. I want to add on an inch. So my card, because I want 1/2 inch on each side, because that's what my flap is going to be. You'll see what I mean when I get to that part. So whatever measurement your die is, now this could be 6 inches, it could be 8 inches, it could be 4 inches, it's 5. If your die measures 3 inches across, then you would cut your paper at 4 inches. If it was 1 3/8, you would cut it at 2 3/8. So you always add an inch on at this stage. So I've said it was 4 2/8, so I'm going to make it 5 2/8. Now that is for this piece only. You've got 3 pieces of card. The first piece we're going to do at 5 at this measurement, sorry. If you've got any questions, guys, if I'm not explaining this very well, just leave them in the comments and I will get back to you. But basically, whatever your die measures horizontally, you are adding on an inch. Okay, so horizontally you're adding on an inch. Your card, you want to be the length, the complete length vertically of your card is going to be what you cut your card to vertically. Horizontally, you're going to cut it to an inch wider than what your die is. So here we go. So my die is 4 2/8, so I'm going to cut it to 5 2/8. 5 2/8, and then the length of my die is 5 3/4, so I'm going to cut it to 5 3/4. Okay, easy as that. Now that is fine. The next 2 pieces, you want to add, so this piece is going to be scored with a 1/2 inch score mark at each side, okay, and you want it to be on your other 2 pieces, you want your score marks to be at an inch. So we want to, so now we know that this card is 5 2/8, okay, so we want to add on another inch for the next 2 pieces. So we want the next 2 pieces to be 6 2/8, okay. So we've got our 5 2/8, and we want our next piece to be 6 2/8. So basically, the first piece of card that you're cutting, you're adding on an inch to the width of your die horizontally, and the next 2 pieces you're adding on 2 inches to the size of your die horizontally, okay. And then this one again, we're taking this to 5 3/4 because this is the length of my die. And then the next piece again, is under here, and once again I'm taking it to 6 2/8 because it's 2 inches bigger than my die horizontally, and then I'm taking it to 5 3/4 because that is the size of my die vertically. Okay, dokie. Now let's get all the pieces. So we've got 2 pieces that are the same size and 1 piece that's slightly smaller. Well, it's an inch smaller, okay. So take your smallest piece, and this is where we need our scoreboard. If you don't have a scoreboard, you can still do this. You can just measure in 1/2 inch and use a pokey tool or a pen and ruler to measure your 1/2 inch. Now I'm putting on the 5 2/8 side, okay, so the shortest side in this instance. So my 5 3/4 is that way, so the length of my die is that way, okay. 2 seconds, and this time I'm going to score 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch, okay. And then on my larger 2 ones, wait a wee second, let me just make sure I've got this the right way. So yep, that is the length of my die that way, and I want an, oops, that was 1/2 inch there. So Wait a wee second actually, is that right? Yeah, it is. So it's 6 and 2 8, so I want it to be an inch and an inch and an inch and an inch. Okay, so that's the only time we need to do any scoring. Now, on the shorter piece that we have our 1/2 inch score lines down the side, this is where we're going to bring our die in. I'm going to put it face down because mine's cuts that way on the Gemini. Put it that way and tape it down. Just a wee bit of tape just to hold it in place. Okay, then I'm going to take one of my bigger pieces and I'm going to take my die, if I can find it. Honestly guys, you'd think World War III had went off on this desk. There it's there. Now, I've got 2 sizes of these dies. Now, the lovely Laura, when she was making her tunnel card, or shadow box, sorry, where you're doing the 2 going into it, you need the 2 different sizes for that as well. She used love hearts. I need 2 different sizes, but for a different reason. So I've got 2, one slightly larger than the other, and I'm taking the smallest one. I'm going to place this roughly in the centre there. Oops, like that, and I'm just going to tack it down like so. I'm going to run these through a die cut machine and I'll be straight back. Okay, so I ran this through and we'll see what this is like. So this is a bit of an experiment for me and you guys, because I've never used this one before, this die, and I've never made this shape of what do you call it? Tunnel card. Why can I not remember that? So I'm trying to be really gentle with this because it's so intricate. As you can see, one passed through the Gemini and it cut this die out perfectly, but I don't just want to pull it. Okay, it's coming, it's coming. It's so delicate. Aha! So that is that. I'll just tap that on my desk and get all of that out in a second. Now, this one that you've done, this is going to, the tabs on the side, your 1/2 inch fold gets folded in the way. Okay, like that, and on this side, like that. This piece, we've cut this one out on. Let's just, do you know, no matter what I use, whether it's washi or low tack tape, it always still sticks. Okay, so then, yeah, what we want to do now is choose which paper we're going to use for the back. So I've got this pad. This was actually from the lovely Laura. She done a de-stash and I bought this from her a while back. Now, I like this one, the peach. Isn't that nice? And it's got like the foiling on it. Not the foiling, like the, what do you call it? The, oh my god, I can't speak tonight. The spot UV. So I want to measure, let's see. Wait a minute, I'm going to have to turn this round, guys, sorry. It's just because the light is shining and I can't see where I'm cutting it a bit here. And then I'll cut the other bit off when I'm done. So, I was just speaking to my neighbour there. My daughter's sister-in-law is in labour and she is only 32 weeks pregnant. She's pregnant with a wee boy. So I was just asking him if everything is going okay, and I think it is. She's been in labour since yesterday, God love her. She'll be absolutely shattered. And because her waters went early, they can't give her anything else. So she's on morphine and things, but she's really in agony. She's only 6 centimetres dilated, so got everything crossed for her. So I think her wee one might be born tonight. So yeah, hope everything's okay. So anyway, we'll pop this on here, on the back of here, like that. That's pretty, that card, really pretty paper. And just make sure it's all measured up properly, knowing my cotton. And then this one is the back, okay? So the back, your 1/2 inch score marks, you're going to fold that up towards the pattern paper. Just reinforce that with your bone folder, burnish it. So you've got that like that. This one is going to fit with your 1/2 inch in here, and then this one is going to go over the top. But what I want to do first is choose a paper for the front. So I've got like the orange on the back, and I think I'm going to go for this green on the front. It's beautiful. It's got like a spot UV glitter on it. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's absolutely gorgeous. So what we're going to do now, at this point I need to be careful. Oh no, it does, it fits. So what I want to do then is just put it kind of in the centre. Let's see where this one is. Like I say guys, this is trial and error. This is me just showing you that you can adjust it to any size you like, or any die you like. Okay, you just have to adjust your measurements a bit, like what I'm doing here, and then put that over there and stick it down and take it to the no, actually, what am I doing? That doesn't go on there, that goes on here. I was just trying to make sure that it fitted properly. Okay, I'm going to take it and get it cut. Right, let's take this off gently, as not to rip the paper. Okay, so you're left with this piece and this piece that you cut out previously, and I'll show you what we're going to use them for in a second. Now this piece here is going to be, let me see what's the front and what's the back. That's the front. I'm going to overlay that like this. Now as you can see, it's too big because this is a 6x6, and again this is where we adjust it. So the front panel, you're going to fold your inch up the way towards the back side, if that makes any sense, towards the inside. Okay, like that. That box, that die was slightly too big for that, but it doesn't matter, it looks alright. So this way I can see where my paper needs to go, like that. Now I want to leave a white border all the way around, like what I did on this one. Can you see? It's got the white border at the bottom and the white border at the top. So I want to leave that because I think it matches this border on the inside. So I'm going to turn this over so that I can measure it. Take that bit of sticky off that came on washy here, like that, and just measure it to there. Well, my kind of measuring anyway. My measuring isn't with a ruler, it's just hit and guess. Ah, so that's not going to work because that's going to take off a bit of the bottom. Let me see that again. If I go too far, so what I'm going to have to do is turn this over and measure it like that, so that it's still going to fit. Because if I do it too much, it's going to cut off this bottom bit and it's not going to work. So what I need to try and do is sort of centre it like that, and then just put a wee mark here and a wee mark there. I'm going to have to, instead of taking it all off the bottom, I'm going to have to take a wee bit off the top and the bottom. So it's literally just a few millimeters there, and a few mil here. Okay, I'll just tell Kate to turn the heating off, it's absolutely roasting in here. So let's see how that one turned out. Yeah, that's better. I've got the wee border at the top and the border at the bottom. So now we're going to go ahead and glue this. Oops, my glue is all clogged up a bit. Like so. And make sure you glue next to the shape, the die cut shape, as well as along the outside edge so that it all sticks down here. And right down the edge. Right down the edge and right along the shape. Like that. And then position it where you want it on the card, like that. Press it down like so, turn it over, give it a good press. Right, and bring this piece back in. So what we want to do then is, these pieces are wee 1/2 inch pieces. Now I'm using wet glue, but you obviously can use your double-sided tape and things, but you know me, I like to use wet glue. Pop that on there. Can get your shoes on, Paul, we're going to be in a second. Now, on this piece, I like, there was lots of them that I watched that people put them right down at the bottom with the creases. I don't do that because I'm using the Creator card. I don't want it to get squashed. So I'm leaving about 1/4 inch from the top, I would say. And then, oh. Oh my gosh, sorry guys, I cannot stop sneezing. I'm choked with this cold, my throat's red raw, I can't stop sneezing, my nose is blocked, I'm falling apart. Okay, so do you see what I mean? I've left like 1/4 inch to the top, and then the same on this side. Bring it up, and I'm just going to leave like 1/4 inch in there, like that, and then bring the top bit back in. Now by all means, in the background, before you put this bit on, you could put on a topper or things like that, but because I'm using the Creator card die, I wanted it to be the sort of centre of attention, like what I have in this one. All I've done with this one is highlighted it with a few gems, and I probably will do that with this one, but it's totally up to yourself, guys. So then we're folding our 1/2 inch again back up this way, so that the front is like that and you have your sides like that, so that it goes right over the top and covers it like so. So again, just some wet glue, so you can see that this is sort of the same technique with the Creator card, but it's a different die, so you really can apply this to all your different shape dies. You just adjust your measurements like what I have. Okay, and just line it up like that. And the good thing about these cards is for posting, they lie flat. So I'm just pushing it down, make sure my glue is all stuck, it's not going to come apart. So you see it folds flat for postage. You can actually put it in an envelope, as long as you obviously don't put too much decoration on the front. Push it back out again like so, just to get it straightened up, and there you go. That is that one. I just think they're lovely. I just think, I mean, the Creator card dies are lovely, but I don't use them enough. And when I seen this tutorial on the Shadowbox card, I thought I'm going to try and make that my own with these credit cards. So, like I said guys, if you want to see how to make Laura's Shadowbox, I will link that down below. And if you like my tunnel cards, let me know in the comments box down below. I've still, oops, like I said, this one is a Grand Chandelier. I absolutely love that one as well. I've still to decorate that one. That one is the Downton Abbey, and that one is the Downton Abbey. So yeah, if you've got any questions at all, because I know this, I'm probably not the best at doing tutorials, leave them in the comments box and I'll get back to you. Thanks everybody, bye bye.